Caspian in real life. Hello everybody, it is Katie here. It has been a while since I have made a booktube video. I kind of focused on my actual book blog for a little while. I always intended to get back to booktube, I just didn't know when. But then of course a Six of Crows adaptation started happening and there was no way that I was not going to talk about it. Anyone who follows me on any of my various social media accounts will probably know that I love Six of Crows. Just a tiny bit. A lot. I love it a lot. I would die for these characters. That duology completely took over my life. I have met Lee before. I got the chance to see her when she came on tour with Rainbow. I got to tell her how much I adore the Crows, and it was just the best thing ever. Yeah, I love Six of Crows. So when I found out that we were going to get a Netflix adaptation of it, I lost my shit. We were going to see Kaz in front of us with our eyeballs. He was going to be a 3D person, not just on a page. He was going to exist physically. I was not ready at all. My only slight issue was that I didn't really like Shadow and Bone. I just didn't really gel with that story. I don't think the story necessarily is to blame. I think I just read it at the completely wrong time. If I'd have read that series back when I was like 17, 18, I feel like I would have completely adored it. But I read it a little bit later, and by that time I'd already grown tired of that sort of setting for a YA story. Not setting as in location, just average, mousy, main female character suddenly finds out that she's extra special, and then there's boys involved because there's always boys involved. Things like that. By the time I started reading Shadow and Bone, I was over that sort of setup for a story. But I completely fell in love with Six of Crows. And I know I'm not the only one that's like that, because I've spoken to quite a few people who love Six of Crows completely, but they just didn't enjoy Shadow and Bone. Whereas on the other hand, I know that there are people who adored that trilogy, and that's the reason why they love Six of Crows so much. You know, everyone's different. So it is interesting that Netflix is going to mix the two of them. I don't really know what to expect, but at this point I have seen so many YA book adaptations that I no longer care how they happen or what goes on, because it's one of those topics. Everybody is so loud and opinionated, and eventually you have the adaptation fans going against the book fans and it's all out war. I'm not like that. I don't care. If the adaptation is terrible, it's terrible. Fine, whatever. I don't care. I still have the books. I still have those characters. I still love them. Show's not going to change my opinion. I did 3 years worth of Shadowhunters videos, for God's sake. I'm an expert at this now. I don't care either way. But I know that this is the type of thing that everyone will have different opinions on, and people won't be happy, and yeah. Why do I get into these fandoms? So whatever plans they have for the show, however they're going to change the story to mix it together, whatever, I'll just take it as it is. If I like it, I like it. Either way, I get to at least see somebody dressed as Caspian, and that's enough for me. So let's talk about these new cast members then, shall we? I know exactly where we're going to start. We are going to start with Ben Barnes. 2008 me would have zero chill over this. And you know what, 2019 me isn't that different. Ben Barnes was the love of my life back in 2008. When Prince Caspian happened, it was just all about Ben Barnes. He took over my life, he took over my friend's life, he took over my sister's life. It was like this one big Ben Barnes invasion. I loved Narnia so much anyway when I was a teenager, and I loved the films despite the fact that in the end, they weren't really that good after the first one. So Prince Caspian was like the added bonus on top of the fact that I love these stories. I loved that movie so much. My dad works on the railway, and obviously in stations they have those big poster advertisements for films and books that are coming out at the time, and in the stations they had movie posters for Prince Caspian, and I made my dad request to bring one home after they were finished with them. I still have it. It's a complete mess, but oh no. I don't have it anymore. I've just ripped Ben Barnes. Yeah. Well, he's ripped now. But you get the picture. Kinda loved Ben Barnes. So I started hearing rumours about the cast members a few weeks ago, but it was only in the past couple of days that I really started seeing Ben Barnes' name creep up. I saw a few people dropping his name in the Tumblr tags, and I was like, Ben Barnes? What do you mean, Ben Barnes? I didn't know whether I wanted to believe it at first, because the thing about Ben Barnes is that the majority of YA book fandoms at some point have had somebody who has fancast Ben Barnes as any character. I couldn't seem to avoid him, especially on Book Tumblr when you get people's edits. You just always saw Ben Barnes. It didn't matter what character it was. If a character was tall and had long dark hair, then he was Ben Barnes. Nobody took his age into account. Nobody took the age of the character into account. He was just always used. Especially as young Sirius Black. The amount of gift sets that I have seen of him as young Sirius Black. So he's one of those people that's kind of used all the time for fancasts. So when people were like, oh, he's going to be in Shadow and Bone, I was kind of like, okay, sure. But then, turns out they were right, and he is playing the Darkling, but under a different name. General Kirigan? Kirigan, did they say? When I saw the name, I was kind of on Google, like, did I just forget a whole character? Because I don't remember this person. But then I realised they've kind of just given him a different name. Which does make sense, because I feel like the show's going to make the Darkling this big scary villain that everyone talks about, and then you're going to find out that this general is the Darkling, and it's going to be really big surprise for everyone who hasn't read the books. So yeah, he is the Darkling. My whole timeline went into meltdown because apparently we all universally love Ben Barnes, which is great news because we should. But then I did see tweets complaining that he was too old, and the Darkling is like hundreds and hundreds of years old. Just because he looks like a 17-year-old doesn't mean he actually is. So really I'm not that fussed about him looking older, because I feel like they are aging up all of the characters anyway. I don't feel like they're going to be teenagers. They tend to do this with show adaptations. They make them a little bit older. So people are a little bit uncomfortable because of his relationship with Alina. And people don't like the idea of it being an older male actor. But their relationship is creepy anyway. So his age really doesn't bother me at all. I think he's going to be an absolutely fantastic villain. I cannot wait. I'm so excited to dedicate my life to Ben Barnes once again. 2008 Prince Caspian fans who are now YA book nerds are thriving right now. So the rest of the cast, I don't know. I've not heard of them before, which is great, because usually I prefer that for main leads in an adaptation. Bring known names in for supporting characters, but for the main cast, I like new people that I can get to know. That does mean that I am going to have to Google them to get them right, because I don't know everyone yet. I will though. I've already taken them into my heart and followed them all on Instagram, as you do. So let's go for Alina first. She is being played by Jessie May Lee. She's been in a few things, but nothing that I've seen before. She looks perfect for this part, honestly. I wasn't really too keen on Alina in the book, but I feel Like, I'm going to warm to her a lot more in the show, thanks to this wonderful actress, whom I can't wait to love. The guy playing Mal is Archie Reno? Reno, I think that's how you pronounce it. And when his name was floating around, a lot of people didn't know whether he'd be playing Kaz or not, but he's playing Mal. Again, I have not seen him in anything, but I have looked through his Instagram and he seems like a great person. So let's move on to the Six of Crows cast members. Not that I'm completely biased towards Six of Crows in any way at all. So playing Kaz, we have Freddie Carter. I had not heard of Freddie Carter until a few weeks ago when I saw his name on Tumblr and people were speculating that he could also be Kaz, and immediately I thought he had the cheekbones to play Kaz. Look at those cheekbones. I don't even know if you can look at those cheekbones because I have my brightness so low on my phone. Look at those cheekbones! I did see a few people saying that they didn't think he looked right to play Kaz because we always get people who don't think the actors look right. Give them a chance to act first, because surely them playing the character is more important to them looking exactly like the character. You are never going to get a complete copy of a book character in an adaptation. It's just not going to happen. Let him act first, because honestly, no man is ever going to compare to book Kaz. So we have to deal with whatever we get given, and we've been given Freddie Carter, and he's already stolen my heart simply for his Brecon News pun that he made on Instagram. How can you not love him after that? I have complete faith in him, and I don't know anything about him at all, really. I don't even know how old he is. But he's Kaz, and we're gonna accept that. Be nice to our cast, please. So he's been in a few things as well, but again, I've never seen any of them. He was in a horse show on Netflix, and I do like horses, so maybe I should watch it and check him out and see what he's like. I mean, I say I like horses, but I always get traumatized by anything with horses in it. Black Beauty and Warhorse left me traumatized for life. So we need to talk about the actress playing Inej. Inej. I love her so much. She is one of my favourite characters, and the actress playing her is the only one other than Ben Barnes in this cast who I have actually seen act before, because she was in Doctor Who. So she's being played by Amita Suman, and just look at her. We got lucky. We really got lucky. I love her already. I cannot wait to see her. I'm so excited. She is Inej. She is Inej. And the last cast member we have at the moment is the actor playing Jesper, and his name is Kit Young. I love his name. The name Kit's so great. Again, Jesper is one of my favourite characters. I'm gonna say that about every character in Six of Crows. This is ridiculous. I would die for Jesper, so I am really looking forward to Jesper in the show. So they are our cast members so far. We have this photo of them. It dropped yesterday. I shit my pants. We're already starting to get little posts and videos on their social media accounts talking about filming and production starting, and I'm ready. I'm so ready. I don't judge cast members before I've actually seen them in the role. To me, it's more important to actually see them play that character before I make a decision on how I like them as that character. Because I used to be one of those embarrassing people who was like, oh my, they don't look right, but it's not gonna work. I was like that back in the Hunger Games days. I was one of those people who didn't think Josh Hutcherson was going to be the perfect Peter, and you know, I played myself because he was the perfect Peter. So yeah, I don't judge cast members. Whatever I get, I'll decide when I see them. A little bit sad that we didn't get certain characters, but obviously we don't have them all yet anyway. More will be introduced, and we do need to accept the fact that we're probably not going to see everyone that we want to in this series, because they are mixing Six of Crows with Shadow and Bone. And with that happening, they can't just introduce all of these characters at the same time in the first season. So there will be characters that we don't get to see yet. I am pretty certain that we're going to get Nina in this season. At least we better. I really want Nina. And I would also really like Wylan. My little baby. My little boy. My little Wylan. Please. So I'm sure we'll find out further on down the line exactly how many of the characters we're getting in this season. I don't know. I'm just excited. Production has started. We've got cast members. It's actually happening. The minute I see even one single photo of them in costume, I'm going to lose my shit. So I'm very excited to have a new show that I can obsess over and discuss through interwebs, because I kind of miss talking about Shadowhunters, so I've got something else to talk about now, and I will talk a lot. So whenever we get new cast members, I'll be sure to make a video discussing them. Please do let me know all of your thoughts on this adaptation. What do you think it's going to be like? Do you like the cast members? What are you most excited for? Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments. I can't wait to get constant updates on the production of this show. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope we get a chance to talk again soon. Bye! Ben Barnes. Am I ever going to get over that? Am I? It's Ben Barnes. Ben Barnes.